All right, good morning. So I have a bunch of random stuff today. I got a buddy of mine who works at another factory, and large factory. So the amount of stuff that they end up tossing is, it's cheaper to get rid of it that way. So he'll always just fill a bucket. But I got a few things on the docket today. Pull one of these out. He got me this. It's this hex. It's this hex stock, and it came from some kind of a roller system, and so you just all these long lengths they just pull out like 3 feet long, and so we're gonna try and make some hooks out of those today. I think with the hex pattern and the twist might look kind of cool, so we're just gonna try that. Let's see. I have some 1/4 by 3/4 flat stock. I had a drawing, a concept for a bottle opener. I just want to try the amount of time and effort to punch a hole, because like typically you'd punch or split a hole and start drifting it out and working around the horn of the anvil. Time and effort, which is fine. Just charge more, do whatever. But I had a concept where I'm going to draw this out, wrap it around, and make kind of like a finger groove. So we'll try that. So we're going to try some bottle openers. And all dependent on time. I got about a good hour and a half today. Excuse me. So we'll try that. I got a simple piece of rebar. I've made, since I'm just kind of starting on some of this stuff, I made rebar punches, drifts, chisels. And I need kind of I think they call it like a bull nose, a bull or a bob, I think is what they call it. So it's the end of it's a lot more rounded. So when you're making a bottle opener, there's that little tab that actually pops the pop tab off, the bottle cap off. So I need more of a rounder nose. So we're gonna do that. This one I thermal cycled, which is to heat it up to a certain degree 3 times, but I haven't tempered this one yet. So I gotta normalize this one as well so I can temper those. My last piece of big stock, so we have a barbell manufacturing that we also do a part of the business. And so this is just a chunk of a barbell that's just runoff. I already just started working it one day, not thinking or knowing what I wanted to do with it, but man, it was a lot to work. It's about I think this is 1 or 1.1 inches thick. Let's see. No, it's just 1 inch, 1 inch diameter. But I just worked it one way, so I'm gonna try and bring it back. I gotta make a hot chisel that'll go in the Hardy, which means that'd be way too much metal to upset. So I think I'm just gonna get the point I need, or because I also have set up to do some tongs today too. Obviously, I won't be doing all this stuff today. That would take me the whole weekend because skills and all. But so the tongs I want to make are punch set tongs, so it can hold smaller tongs. One thing I've noticed when I'm punching holes, depending on the size of your material, when you've got your hand in and around there, it's pretty hot. I'd like to lay the material down and you create a pair of tongs that specifically holds and clamps onto a smaller punch that you can just punch through. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll cut this short. I'm going to fuller it. That way I can grip it with a pair of tongs and we'll go from there. So yeah, we're just playing around today. Nothing crazy. Actually, I'm going to toss in this piece of rebar as well here. And I'm pretty certain I'm going to have to change gas out pretty quick as well. So it's a full day. It's a full day. Before I get rolling, I have the camera turned around, so I'm not going to see a whole lot of... Yeah, not a repeat video. I hope not. All right. Well, thank you, Barney Rubble. I say hi. So I have the turned around. I get too distracted. Plus, I think has a better video. Plus, it shows the flag right. So we got to do it all right. All right. So we're gonna just start on some hooks right now. Let me get my sleeves up. I don't know where y'all are watching in from, but we're in southern Minnesota right now. It's a brisk, beautiful morning today. Might have to crank. I got a bay door right over here. I might have to get cranked as well. All right. So we're going to work on some hooks. First thing we got to do is taper out. I got these cut at 6 inches. I'm going to actually make a quick mark because I got to draw it out so far. I like to draw it out at this stock. I like to draw it out to about an inch and a half. So we'll go from 6 to 7.5 here. Put a mark on our trusty anvil. Oh, and I'm already 8 minutes behind. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, so this will be kind of interesting here. We'll see how it goes. What did I cut that at? That already looks longer than what I want. Oh, we're okay. We're okay. Just realized I marked it at what it was, not what I want. It's that whole measure twice, cut once, or cut once and measure twice, or something like that. Can't tell you how many times I measured it out on the saw, cut it and it was an inch short. Whatever. So I found in about 2 heats, I can get it tapered and drawn out to length, an inch and a half, with about, this is actually more like half inch stock, but so it's obviously cold roll. It's really fine features on it and the faces at angles. It feels like it's even maybe has a touch of carbon in it as well because it's a little tougher to move than mild steel, but all right, let's draw that taper out just a little more. Perfect. Now I'm just going to go ahead and round, or just kind of hit those corners just a little bit here. I'm not going to, since it's all angular anyway, I want the hook to kind of retain a lot of those features, so I don't want to completely round off this taper. It's easier to do it when your steel's got a lot colder. Otherwise I'd be chasing bends around like crazy on this. So all right, make sure we're, yeah, it looks pretty straight. So that one's ready to start getting the curls on. All right, draw this out. Check my line, maybe a little more. Perfect. All right, get you all cleaned up. All right, let's break those edges. We're all straight. Sweet. Let's see, I think I'll work on the rebar out too. And another tongs. There we are. There we go. A little more comfortable in the grip. So I want to keep this oh man, maybe like 3/8 of an inch diameter. It's gonna be really rounded. Which this I just have to get a kind of a clean taper. I think I'll square off the end, put a twist in. I want it to be kind of fancy, so we'll square off this other end here in a minute. And after I normalize it, that's where I can do all the grinding. So I really just have to get this kind of neat, or as close as I can, so I can grind it. We'll make it kind of fancy on the top, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll work on some curls now. I think I want to be in line with the face. So we're just going to hang it over about a 1/2 inch here, maybe a little more. Get a kind of a nice large curl there. Oh, there we go. Needle nose here. I'm just gonna, it's easier just to tweak it a little with the pliers. There we go. Let's get a nice little curl on there. Make sure we're all looking straight here. And then I have a jig. I'm actually gonna put these in for the back side of the curl. I sell these and want to keep them as uniform as possible. The ends I don't care too much about. It's the it's that hook that I really care about. All right, there we go. Push those in a little further. So I'll bring the camera over when I put the large hook part in. But for now, we'll go on to that piece of rebar again. Oh yeah, another thing I want to do today, I got some coil spring. I want to try my hand at my own touch mark as well. But I didn't get that cut, so that'll probably be next week. We'll make it up to you then. All right, I think that looks pretty good. It's pretty rounded. Maybe a few more swings here. We'll All right, we're gonna pop that in the other way, flatten out. We're gonna square off this back half and put a nice twist in it. All right, so for now, I'm gonna be in and off camera. This is where I really shine as a videographer here. So I'm gonna come around this way, get you unplugged, read some comments maybe while I'm at it. Here's the shop. There's the flag. Yep, here we go. So set up right about here maybe. All right, I'm just gonna peek around here. Let's see here. Hey, we got Ken Sikorin from the turkey blind. Yeah, my father-in-law is out hunting. That's awesome. I was gonna say you can't be playing can't have any sounds out there, Ken. But I suppose with those fancy schmancy hearing aids, you got nobody else can hear but you. All right, so gotta make sure I do this right the first time here. You know what? I'll like that. So slides this in. I got an arm right here. This is drops in. We're gonna make that curl around. Let me just check and see if we're on camera. Yeah, we'll go about like so. All right. All right. We're gonna dunk that. Pop that in. Have that down, and we're just gonna walk that around best we can. Sweet. Perfect. There we go. That's all we're looking for. So I like that nice uniform. I like these larger hooks to have. It's just under 2 inches diameter. So I like that to have a nice uniform hook. When I make my S hooks for plants, I don't have any back here, but those I'll do all those by hand. Sometimes I'll twist them here if the customer wants nice, round ones. But so we'll get that set back in the forge the other way because we got to do a twist next. All right, we're gonna see if you can see it's the best part. It's like cooling that off. So satisfying. All right, pop that in like so. We're even. There we go, identical. So I'll get that popped in here. Can you see where I'm going like so? Get that dropped in the forge. So next thing, pop that out. Okay, this would be a little tricky. I got a twist wrench, but it's for square stock. This is hex stock. So my concern is it might not want to twist so well, but we'll see. We'll see how we do here. Could be a disaster. It's the one thing I didn't think about. What I could do, have a pliers you can clamp on as well. We'll try it first. We'll give it a whirl. We got to be kind of fast when we do it, and it's not even going to hold it exactly square. So we're kind of in a, yeah, we'll see. Get on some of the faces here. Oh yeah. Let's make sure I remember where I left off. We'll get a full twist in. Right about that. Actually, I want it to be flat, so like that. Sweet. I like that. Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So we can come around here. It's going to focus on it. Come on, focus. And focus. Who knows? Yeah, so hex stock. It's got all those nice flutes that go around. That's pretty cool. I like that. All right. Make sure we're still... Yep. Pop that one back in. We got to do the spot for the 5 hole there. All right. Tools everywhere. Tools everywhere. Clamp you in. Actually surprised how all that clamps right on there. We'll take it. Did notice this one to get all kind of wonky, but that's all right. We'll fix that in the next heat. Yeah, I really like that. That's pretty cool. Sweet. So let's see here. What do we want to do next? All right, we'll pop that in. All right, we'll get this set up where it was. All right, sorry for the spinning. All right, get this all plugged back in. All right, have I ever made blade? Okay, I'm looking at some comments here. Okay, Alex asked, have I ever made blades? It's your dream, become a bladesmith. Hey, that's a good dream, man. So I did actually make, I've made one. First class I took, I made a railroad spike knife. It's from North Star Forge here in Minnesota, southern Minnesota. Well, actually, middle Minnesota. The guy was a contestant on Forged in Fire. And I always have it on kind of in the background. And they said something about North Star Forge. I'm like, North Star, that sounds like a Minnesota thing. And so I looked it up. And sure enough, Carver, Minnesota, there's a bladesmith down there named Jason, who took a class from. And that's my first railroad spike knife. The knives I really want to make, I was walking off camera here. I'll keep talking. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. So if I ever make knives, I like finding used or thrown away things that have been in a factory for over 20 years. You see a lot of runoff and junk just get thrown. And so this is just called they call it a blacksmith knife. It's nothing fancy, but it's just an old file. And you just separate your stock for your handle, wrap it around. And it's a lot of people, I mean, it has, files have a pretty good carbon content, so you can make a nice hardenable knife. But, you can make a nice little leather sheath, keep it as a belt knife around the shop. You could, I mean, the handle's a bit fat, but I want to make maybe like some paring knives or different things for the kitchen, because you could use it for a lot of different versatile things. That's as much I'd want to ever make as a knife smith. My other good friend from college is a knife smith, and he's been bladesmithing for quite a while now. He's at Clem's Knives. Clem's Knives is just clemsknives.com. C-L-E-M, Clem. But he's out of Southern California, and he's got awesome stuff. And so when I started getting into blacksmithing, I was like, hey, what's this whole deal between knifesmith and bladesmith? He's like, oh, it's a thing. And so the more I learned about what I want to do, I want to make tools, not so much knives. Knifesmiths, they know their steels, they know their heat treats. There's so much that, I mean, it's not just you're going to grab a piece of steel out of the scrap heap. You got to know exactly what you want. What are you using it for? There's 1,000 types of knives and what you can use them for. It's not that I don't have an interest in that, but I like making function. Well, a knife is functional as well and utilitarian. Like my first set of tongs, I walked through a video with there's a John Stewart on Black Bear Forge. Like I like making just nice simple pairs of tongs. If we get to it later today, I got my first box jaw, so that just puts a nice piece of flat stock in there. But I want to make tongs. That's what I really want. I want to make tools that I can use. Because as a fabricator, I use tools all day. I don't really use knives so much. And so my job and my passion has kind of dictated that a little bit. But seeing something with moving parts, that's what I like to do. So, where were we? I was doing something. I need to square off that rebar. Okay. Just gonna break those edges at the top. Sure we're still straight. Yeah, so I don't want to completely flatten. I want to keep some of that rebar kind of look to see what happens when I put the twist in. Don't need the twist, but whatever. I kind of slightly taper the top. As you start pounding on a chisel, it's going to want to start mushrooming out, so you want to just thin it up a little bit. So we'll pop that back in, get ready for a twist. Okay, so now I just need the eyelet on those hooks. So we'll do that. Get a better grip on this here. Okay. Edge of the anvil. It's a nice, easy whack. And I like it a little thicker tab there in case the customer wants and I even chamfer the hole. So if the customer wants to put a chamfer bolt in so it sits flush with that surface. But yeah, that's kind of all we're looking for right there. We'll put that in. I got to heat the whole thing up and we'll just kind of get all the, make sure it's all straight. But I mean, that's about it. We got a hook. Yeah, there we go. Nice and easy. Get that back in. You know, on these two, usually I drill the holes, but maybe I punch them today because I don't do that enough. The thing is, I hate doing it on hooks. We'll do it on something else. Hooks, because there's no way to get a hold with the handle, the chisel, and everything. That's why I usually I have a box full of hooks I got to drill holes in. It's just easier at the end of the day. All right, so I'm going to bring the camera back over so we can do some more twisting here and straightening out. All right. Hey, if you want to come visit me, let's go have a beer here. All right, hope you caught it. All right. All right. Oh, we got a hi. Man, I don't know how to say your name, but hello, GT. All right, so we're gonna put a lot. We'll start with that chisel. So I'm gonna find my twist wrench here. It's a little bit thicker. Not exactly straight up and down, but that'll be fine. Just want a subtle twist. Yeah, that's it. That's all we want to do. So I don't even have a touch mark yet, so I can put a fancy emblem on here, but we'll get there. Yeah, so that's it. So now I'm going to go ahead and thermal cycle this, which means I'm just going to bring it to temp 3 times. And then we'll just let that sit, and then I'll put it in the oven to temper. I got a few things that need to be tempered, so we're going to just throw this in. Actually, I should make sure we're straight first still. That's probably not a bad idea. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, so we'll just toss that in. All right, let's get these hooks straightened up here. I always need just a little bit of tweaking. Easier to just bring it to the vise. Sweet. Yeah, I like how that looks. That all the flutes from that hex looks pretty cool. Let's see, I put that there. Cool off a little. We're gonna just coat it with some beeswax. That one looks pretty good. Sweet. All right. I wonder if I got, you know what, I think I twisted the other one a little more. So that's got a real fine twist. The other one's a little more fluted. That's okay. They're going to be sold individually anyway. Just put them on opposite ends of the table. There, nobody will know. All right. So I think I'll throw in a couple other pieces of steel here. So I got that. Now the thing is I want to put it on a surface because I'm concerned about the end. So I'm just going to put that there. You can't put it on your anvil or my large welding table. It'll suck all the heat off one side. And you want an evil normalization process. So I'm going to let that hang off there. We'll get that camera brought back around and we'll keep rolling on some other stuff here while we got time. All right. So, Joseph Belfort, what is it? And what are you making? Yeah, so, yeah, I guess we've already been on for like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So, I'll just give a quick recap before I start on these other couple things here. Let's see. Where's my tongs? Okay. So I got some hex stock from a buddy of mine. So I'm just trying to, I sell all these hooks. I'm going to make a pile of them to sell at our farmer's market. So I just wanted to see what kind of fluting and everything it would do when I make these hooks. And so it makes a real nice, unique kind of hook. So we're just experimenting with that. So I got a couple of those made real quick. The piece I just took out of the forge is going to be it's called a bowl or a bob chisel. And so if you've ever held up, actually here, I got a bottle opener. Where do I have my bottle opener? Let's see here. Yeah, so I got just a box full of runoff stuff. This is the first bottle opener I ever made. Nothing fancy. But there's this piece right here that actually pops the bottle cap off. So I have a drift tool, but it's like a 1/4 inch at the end, and so it's not wide enough. So I'm making this bowl or bob chisel with a larger rounded end to create that dimple. And you can use it for a lot of other stuff. You're making marks on tools. So then the next thing I got in the fire now is a couple pieces of 1/4 by 3/4 flat stock. We're going to try and make a different type of bottle opener. Just trying different ideas. I want to sell these. Well, you got to make them so fast. Otherwise, you're not really worth your time. Okay, so first thing though, we got to just seal off these hooks here. Might still be a little hot. That's all right. I don't know if you really want it smoking too much. As long as it doesn't start on fire, I guess that's probably fine. But beeswax is natural. It's clean. That's what I like to seal my stuff with. It smells good. Yeah. Get it on there. It's hot. And then you just grab a rag. Yep, looks pretty good. Just wipe off the excess. Then it ends up, the seal it gives, it looks like a nice, like a nice blacksmith hook, nothing too fancy, nothing crazy, but that's what we're looking for. So I have off days where I don't record, and so I just try and pump as many of these out as I can. I can only put about 4 in the forge at a time, so I can do about those 4 to 6 an hour or better, depending on how fancy we get on them. Seal this one up here. I mean, these were really, I can't obviously grab with my hand. They were red hot, but when you put on your anvil, it just sucks that heat right out of it. So a lot of these guys, you know, when they're making a lot of these, they'll take the hooks or whatever else they'll do, and they'll stick it right up next to their forge just to kind of keep it warm, because they'll forget. Like, oh yeah, I gotta put a coat of something on it. That's it. Wipe that down. And I'll try my hand at a different kind of bottle opener here. So those hooks still need an eye hole, but I'm going to drill that later. All right, so I don't really know. This will be my first time rolling with these bottle openers, so we'll give it a roll. And actually, so here's people are asking. Yeah, so here's that that Bowler Bob chisel I'm making. That's my punch. Where's my? So you can see the difference. I don't know. Well, you can see it in the camera. It's blurry and whatnot. But this is my drift. So I usually punch a 1/4 inch hole or so, and I'll drift it with this to the size I want. But this I'm going to round off quite a bit to get a nice dimple for that, or impression for that bottle opener. So I just cycled it once. We'll cycle it again. I'm not a pro at the whole normalizing, or thermal cycling is another term for it. And then the quenching, something I'm still learning. That's why I'm using rebar for all my chisels right now. It's cheap. We have a steel scrap center 3 blocks down the road. With all the construction guys, they just dump mass amounts of rebar. Well, rebar, it's a dirty steel. It's junk, but it does have some carbon in it. And so you can harden it. And for what I'm doing, it works just fine. So, and it's good practice. I'd hate to, like I have a coil spring. I'll grab that. So I got a few different pieces of coil spring here. I was hoping to have a piece of this chopped today so we could work on, so this is a high quality, high carbon steel. And so when I start getting into better chisels and more fine-tuned chisels, that's what that's going to be made out of. I have a buddy who is a mechanic and bought a whole set of Snap-on chisels and punches. I mean, crazy amount of money. He's like, could you just make these? I'm like, yeah, we could make that. And so it's one of those things where it'd be cool to have his own monogrammed, punch set. That's cool. So, all right, let's see if we can do something with this 1/4 inch stock here. And I think I need my other set of tongs if I can find them. There. So I'm kind of guessing here how I do this, but I think we can make it work. I need to separate off so much material so I can taper it out to make the end of the bottle opener. So that's what we're gonna try and do first here. Usually do that right off the end of your anvil here. I want to separate off. I probably don't actually need too much, but I want to work. You can always cut extra off. There we go. So I want this end down here flatter. I'm going to eventually kind of flatten that off. This one I'm going to taper out so I can start wrapping and making the bottle opener side. And then the rest of this is just going to be whatever design our heart desires. Just kind of straighten as we go a little here. I think I had the whole thing a little too hot. But now we'll start tapering that out. I could also put a fuller in now, but I think I'll taper out first. So we'll put that back in. So I got this. It's non-magnetic, so I'm going to go put this back carefully, hanging off the vise. Not drop it on the floor. So that's 2. I should probably be writing that down. Okay, so I thermocycled once and twice. So I want to do that 3 times, and that's it. We'll put it back in a 4th time and we'll quench. So I need to be a better probably bladesmith. We'll figure that one out. Okay, so that was the 2nd thermal cycle. So we'll leave that there and go on to our next piece here. Got to know see everything I've made so far. I don't have to do any of that. So I'm just kind of guessing, you know. I'm just trying to draw that one out. Yeah, so looks pretty junky now, but so I'm gonna just cutting that over. I'm drawing this out. We'll end up doing the wrap for the hook. Oh, I'm sorry, for the bottle opener, the rounded open end. So, all right. Okay. All right. I want to knock that out just a little more. Don't want to break it off, but perfect. Okay. So always trying, you know, different parts of the anvil as well. The horn and the edge will help you draw that move material around a lot faster. Get the rounded end of the hammer. And as soon as your steel is gray, put it back in, even before that. I just get kind of, oh, just hold it on one more second, one more hit, and then you're just beating on cold steel. And so I haven't made these before, at least in this way, and I'm already seeing that I think I want more material when I start. So that's okay. This stuff is so cheap. It's not working. I'll just chuck it, get a new one. All right, we'll keep working that out. Getting there. That's coming along. It can be pretty thin. Like the steel is pretty tough. But now I'm realizing I definitely need, so next time I use about, I separate about an inch of material. I definitely want more than that. But, you know, we're figuring it out. So not too concerned. Just playing around today. We're playing around. I need a drink. All right. Take a peek here. All right, good to know I have some coil springs laying around. Yeah, make sure you keep all your coil springs. You want to keep your leaf springs. You want to keep your axles. The oven. Yeah, the oven is just a Weaver forge. You could go on Amazon. I'm going to make my own eventually. I'm a fabricator, so I got some steel saved up. Greetings from San Antonio, Texas. Greetings, sir, from up north. Yeah, so the forge is just a Weaver forge, Vevor. I should probably get a link to Amazon, make some money. But yeah, 100 is a dual burner. I just have one of the burners going, one I took off because for the small stuff I make, it works just fine. 120 bucks shipped. I mean, it's pretty, yeah. Maybe not anymore the tariffs. Hey, there's our political piece for the day. But it works great. I have real nice diamond plate. I'm going to make a real nice, you know, forge that I can separate off sections and for depending on what kind of work I'm doing. But that's, this is working now. I'll cross that bridge another day. Remember to cool down your tongs. All right. Yeah, maybe it will be fine. The thing I got to remember too with the design I had in mind is it'll wrap and make the oblong circle. I'm going to roll off the end in a curl, so it's kind of like a finger groove. So I guess it doesn't really matter how much material I have, so I'll remember that next time. But I think the rest of this should be good as far as length goes. It's like a 6-inch piece maybe, or maybe 5. So yeah, keep it going. Yeah, see, I like the squared look. My buddy, I was telling you earlier, Greg, his Clem's Knives. I'm gonna give another shameless shout out to my buddy Greg. But he just made some bottle openers as well. And usually, you know, you got a bottle opener. It's kind of a nice, elegant little thing. But his are like, they're real. I mean, he's making them for a. He's got hooked up with this like barbecue place in Southern California. They're just huge barbecue stuff. So he's making these steak turners and these bottle openers. It's like it's legit. I'm like, that's what I want to be geared towards. It's, you know, no fuss, no muss. It's a real deal. But no, it's a fun thing to make. My brother, he's him and his buddies, like they all like buying those types of set type things that they can get their own individual punch on there, and it's kind of cool. So I want to try and get something made that that you can individualize, and it's kind of cool. All right, we're getting close here. As to whether or not I have enough material is yet to be decided, but I think what I'll do is start getting that tapered real small, and then I think I'll put a fuller in. That look like enough? We'll roll with it. So I got a fuller jig too. I'll grab that here in a minute. All right, I think I'll do the fuller now. So let's pop that in a little further. Let's see, just a way to separate some more material. So I have a jig I threw together. It's my fuller jig. Whew. It's taking some abuse. I think that'll work still. So I'm gonna, it's got two pieces of round stock, top and bottom. So we'll put it in and it hammers it evenly. So we're gonna create that nice hourglass figure that I don't have anymore. Or yeah, something like that. Have my buddy edit that from the record. All right, let's see. So that's hot. Well, pretty close. Oh, that's probably good to put back in too. My bad. We're gonna put that back in for thermal cycle 3. Yeah, so I will do a fourth time. I'll quench. We'll do the grinding. I'm probably getting that all messed up, but there's someone in channel. I don't heat treat a lot of stuff. And so now I had notes somewhere. I don't know where they're at. Maybe it's in my notebook. Should have a heat treat section. Yeah, so if you haven't gathered yet, this channel is for pure entertainment value only. If you're learning anything like heat treating, you're on the wrong channel for now. We'll get there. Nah, I didn't write that part down. So yeah, see, I didn't. We'll catch you next time. We'll let that heat up though. All right, so I'm gonna fuller. So we're just gonna pop this in a little ways here. Separate off some steel. A little more. Yeah, so just putting this in that rounded kind of piece there to level off, because I'm going to taper the rest of the handle. Straighten you up. See that one. So what we're eventually going to do is I'm going to smack that back and start rolling it around. That's what we'll do on our next one here. So we're done with that. Oops, sorry, I'm jiggling the camera all over the place. All right, see what else everyone has to say. Right now we're just working on some bottle openers. We're playing around today. Got a few different projects. I was hoping to get to some tongs today, but I don't think we're going to get there. We'll probably save that for next week. We'll just do a whole episode just on working on some tongs. The style we're going to make is a it's a punch set of tongs. So they're going to be short. They're for short chisels and are short punches that you can grip onto with a pair of tongs. I'll make a little clasp so you can clasp it off. It keeps your hands away from the work. I haven't had any steel flip around and hit me yet, but I prefer that it doesn't. All right, so I got to start wrapping this down. This is where I need my other anvil, I think. Yeah, I can already tell I think this one's going to be a little short. How can I do that? I'll put that back in. We'll get it hot again. All right, we'll cycle that last time. Wrap this down. Yeah, you know, I wonder if I just need to grab from the side. We're almost kind of upsetting it, but so now we can start whipping it right back around. Okay, pop that back in. These might have been a little easier said than done, I think. So now we're basically gonna, I probably have to cool that down. All right, so it's a little wonky, but now I'm gonna put it back in. We'll cool this down so I can start wrapping this around. Should probably get my cooling cup here. Okay, so it looks pretty wonky, but that's actually kind of, that's towards the shape we want to go. Like I said, today is all about the practice, and I need a lot of it, that's for sure. But so I just need to flatten that down, curl that around, and we're getting close. So not going horribly, just mostly horribly. Yep, and I hear my fire starting to, my propane running out here. So I might need to, might be about a good time to quit anyway. We'll see here. We can make it. Yeah, so we're getting it wrapped. Just need to wrap that last side. I wonder if I want to wait. Try those this next week. Yeah, looking at the time, we're just over an hour now. I think I'm gonna, I didn't know how much time I'd have with that last bit of fuel, but I can hear it starting to sputter a little bit. So I'm gonna cycle that punch for the last time. Let's see, I'll run through some comments here, see if there's anything else we gotta say before we sign off. No, we're looking pretty good. All right, so, okay. So I'm trying, kind of failing more at those bottle openers. We're gonna, I'm gonna work on that this week to figure out a little bit more on the steel and the technique to get that drawn and tapered out how I need it to. The one thing I really want to get done today was that that bull or bob chisel, whichever is the correct way to say that, or whatever kind it is, for making indentations for the bottle openers. Let's see, this next week I grab some steel here. So got this barbell, so barbell material is 4140. It's a good tool steel, and it's got some good carbon in it. So I'm gonna make a hot cutoff tool out of this. That's gonna go in the Hardy for the anvil. And this is nice. I wanna start taking chunks off this to make for a lot of my punches. And I'll fuller it all the way around. And that's what's going to go with those new tongs I make. And so for the tongs this next week is what we'll be working on. So they're already ready to go. I got a chunk of rebar on the end to hold on to. Scrap steel, it's just a 3/4 round by 12 or 13 inches. So these will be for each side of the reins. We're going to make a set of the a punch set holder, set of tongs. So that's what that's for. So we'll work on that this next week. Tongs are what I want to be good at. Today we're just fooling around with techniques, just seeing what works, what doesn't work. I got that other new hex stock. But yeah, so next week, tune in, same time, 7 o'clock Central, and we'll make some tongs. Yeah, I'm glad y'all made it today. Go out and make something if you haven't already. Read a book. I don't know. Everybody have a good day. We'll see if we can get this figured out how to turn off. See you later.